The Resilience Across Borders podcast is intended to be a resource for education, support, and inspiration. I am not a psychologist or a medical doctor and do not offer any professional, medical, or health advice. If you are dealing with or suffering from any psychological or medical conditions, please seek help from a qualified health professional. Hello, I'm your host Rashid Zahidi, and welcome back to Resilience Across Borders podcast, where we discuss all issues, ideas, strategies, and tools to help foster resilience in ourselves and others we are responsible for or others that we are trying to help. This one, by request, has me drawing from all kinds of historical experiences, trials, and tribulations that go back many years and drawing from more recent experiences. So in this episode, we will talk about finding some relief from the sadness, the heartbreak, the anxiety, and even at times depression that follows the ending of a romantic relationship or a breakup. So it starts typically, so you meet someone, you hit it off, and you start making plans together, dreaming together, creating a vision and planning your future together, and you do just about everything together. You're just about going everywhere, everything's reminding you of that person until you can't think of a place or a restaurant or a hotel, a beach, a destination or anything else without them coming to mind. As you spend more time together and you're trying to line up the rest of the main blocks of a good relationship together, you're forming a lot of bonds and memories and things. Then boom, it hits you one day, or one of you or both of you finds that it's not working, or you both agree. So you walk away and you just have to let go. So that decision has been made and you have to let go. But it's easier said than done, because once you really get into the thick of it, it gets pretty confusing. It's tough, and as I mentioned earlier, just it can lead to all kinds of really sad, bad, depressing periods. So these, of course, have all kinds of ways or sideways they can go, from quieter or calm, sad, somber goodbyes to tumultuous or explosive ones. I'm sure you out there have gone through that. You've probably experienced one or the other or all. Either way, after all the dust settles, then comes the reckoning, the stages of grief, self-doubt, questioning, agony, regret, and so on with the roller coaster as you navigate the stages of grief and hope you can come out the other side whole again and become ready and open to new or future possibilities, or to just be okay with being by yourself for a longer period or for a longer while or indefinitely if it makes you happy, as so many people happily choose to do, especially nowadays. Most of us strive to create a great relationship where we feel seen, feel heard, and feel understood, and where a partner can experience, witness, and share in our triumphs and our setbacks and challenges, among other things. To do that, unfortunately, you have to go through different, sometimes relationships. You have to jump in there and you have to get into the arena, and it's just how it is. So you have to try with a few different people sometimes, and then that also means sometimes really hard separations and breakups once you do find that unfortunate reality that it's not the person for you, or you are not for each other. And then you will have to go through all of that. You will need to process the breakup, you need to heal, and you need to get up and move forward to try again when the right time comes again. This episode was created to help you navigate some of those difficult ones. With that, there are a few things to keep in mind and remind yourself of, and there are some exercises you can do to help heal. If you're really struggling and can't find your way out, there is nothing better than a great therapist to help you through this. And I recommend you do free consultations with a few and pick the one who can actively help you through this. There are a few things to remember. So first, you have to acknowledge and to validate your emotions. Recognize that it is normal to experience a wide range of emotions after a breakup. That includes sadness, anger, confusion, depending on the day. So allow yourself to feel these emotions without judgment and understand that they are a natural part of the healing process. Don't pretend you are not going through adversity, and don't overload yourself with just work or other distractions. So make sure you take time to rest, take time to exercise. You can walk, you can do as many self-care exercises and practices as possible. You will need to do that. You will need to do that for yourself. Nothing else will do. Trying to distract or trying to direct your attention to other things, this stuff will keep resurfacing if you don't deal with it, if you don't take the time to handle it. The other thing is to seek support. I've already mentioned that, but reach out to friends, reach out to family or a support network. Maybe it's people who are going through the same situation or such, who can provide a listening ear, empathy, and guidance. Consider engaging in really, because I mean, it's good to talk to friends and to these people, but sometimes it's just not the same. There may be judgment, there may be agendas, there may be other things, or people may just tell you what you want to hear and all of that. So sometimes there's just no substitute for engaging in therapy or counseling to work through it, especially if there's any attachment or trauma issues. So a professional who specializes in relationship trauma, breakups, separations, and related areas of focus can actually help you navigate this and help you uncover any underlying issues, anything hiding under that iceberg that maybe got you into where you are now or may keep getting you into same situations. So there's a lot more layers to this. So sometimes, I mean, you be the judge of that. You will know if you're feeling better, if you're moving forward, if the clouds are clearing up, or if you're just stuck in the cobwebs and you just can't find your way out. So there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in it. It's okay. Most people who know better go and get the help when they need it. Make sure you practice self-compassion. Be gentle and kind to yourself during this difficult time. Treat yourself with the same care and understanding you would offer a close friend. You can practice self-care activities that promote healing, such as engaging in hobbies, exercising, journaling, spending time in nature, or practicing mindfulness and meditation. Again, make sure it's not distractions, but make sure you're doing healthy things. These are self-care things, not self-destructing things like drinking and other behaviors, or mindless hooking up or dating apps and whatnot. So establish healthy boundaries. There's all kinds of different approaches and there's different opinions on this. Like if, depending on the relationship, of course, if there is any abuse or anything, then definitely you want to cut all kinds of ties and whatnot. Some people are able to have like a platonic kind of type of relationship with their ex. Some people are not. So you be the judge of that. You respect your wishes, you respect their wishes. If both of you think you can have a platonic type of relationship, then by all means. But if he keeps leading you into the same thing and, you keep going back and forth and it's confusing the heck out of you, then maybe yes, even if it's just temporarily for a few months or for a year or whatever. And then you can always, later decide if you guys are in a position to have that type of platonic relationship or friendship. But anyways, you be the judge of that. So if the breakup was traumatic, it's essential to set clear boundaries to protect your emotional well-being. This might involve limiting contact with your ex-partner, avoiding places that trigger memories, and focusing on your own healing process. Healing is not about resentment, but more about forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness of your ex, so you can free yourself from the past. So you can clear your head space and focus your energy on the present and the future. And then if you happen to be in one of those situations where, for instance, like maybe it was a divorce or a relationship that involves kids or involves other things where you have to come together, you can still have boundaries and you can have rules for communication to say, okay, we're only going to communicate on these days about these things or in these types of situations or whatnot. There are different ways you can, I won't get too much into that. But again, at the end of this, I will mention that if someone is, is interested in more of this, I'll do like more long form type of thing and dig into any topics that you guys like email me about or message me about. So reflect and learn. Take time to reflect on the relationship dynamics and patterns that contributed to the attachments, especially if it was not healthy or good for you, such as a form of trauma bond, for instance, that may have kept you in a relationship that rationally wasn't working, but it was really hard for you to kind of get out of. So understand that healing and growth can come from acknowledging these patterns and working towards breaking them in future relationships. No one can stop time, and so with time, things will lose their emotional charge. So at times when you're in the middle of all of this, it seems like hopeless, but just one day at a time. So the fog will clear and eventually your heart will catch up with your mind. Because rationally, sometimes you don't need to be in that relationship, or you need to get out of that relationship, but your heart is just like, won't let go. So you have to take it one day at a time and allow for that to happen. That is allowing for your heart to catch up with your mind. Also, engage in self-growth and personal development. Use this opportunity to invest in your personal growth, especially directed at like maybe more self-awareness and how to handle different things, uncover maybe any underlying issues, any unhealed childhood traumas or anything like that. So explore also activities and resources that help you develop self-esteem, build resilience, and improve emotional well-being. Listen to this podcast, all of them. This can include reading self-help books, attending workshops or seminars, and exploring new hobbies or interests. Maybe you can do some of the things that you would have never done with your ex. Maybe because you adjusted so you can keep the peace before, or just so you could do what they like, or made compromises, and maybe you cast aside some things you really liked to do before. Now it's a good time to go do them. It'll help you heal. It's a good exercise, and there are questions you can ask yourself as well, including what do I really want, what do I really like, and what did I like about the previous relationship, what did I not like about the previous relationship, and so on and so forth. Maybe eventually I'll list some stuff even in the notes and whatever. It's important to practice forgiveness as part of letting go. It doesn't matter who's done what, who did what, whatever. When it's time to move on, forgive yourself. Forgiving yourself and your ex-partner is a powerful step towards healing. Remember that forgiveness is not condoning or forgetting the pain. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional burden and allowing yourself to move forward. So, again, it's important to take it one day at a time. Healing takes time. So be patient with yourself, focus on small, achievable goals, and celebrate your progress along the way. Remember that healing is a journey, and each step forward counts, even if it feels small in that particular moment. So this is only the tip of the iceberg, and I may do a more extended long form, as I mentioned, more like a long form podcast on this topic. Most of the ones I've done here for resilience have been more like short form. So I may go and dig deeper into this depending on your response and your interactions with this and feedback. Especially if you, my listeners, request it, as I have gathered many experience shares, exercises, practices, reflections, and realizations that can only come through really living through life's trials and tribulations. So comment, review, and ask, and I will oblige. But for now, don't let a breakup wreck you for good. You are not alone, you got this, and you will get through this, as many have done before. And many are doing now, and probably as you have done before yourself too. So it's never too late to learn to trust yourself. Some things you would not have known, or what would not really stick or be seared into your brain if you didn't travel down that road and live through that pain or through that experience. So forgive her or forgive him and forgive yourself and let go. As the song, maybe use the song to remind you. As always, thank you for tuning in to the Resilience Across Borders podcast. If you are enjoying this podcast and finding it helpful to you, please let us know so we can continue to make more episodes about these topics. You can do that by leaving a review, subscribing, or leaving a comment, or sharing with others who need to hear it. Remember to be kind to yourself and be kind to others, and stay resilient.